I want to talk about, does everybody have mental illness? I have stopped. I don't really getting into talking about who has mental illness in a way, but I definitely stopped when somebody clearly something is not right about them. Like clearly they are like a psychopath that anybody can see, right? I've even with that I've gotten to the point with what I realize about this simulation. I've gotten to the point where it's really no room to talk about anybody because everybody at some level is MK Ultra. Everybody at some level is MK Ultra. Here's why I say that. Because your thoughts are not your own. We are being fed thoughts. We are being fed our thoughts. Okay? And that's, and so, when people talk about, let it go, this happened to you, let it go, don't worry about that. Yeah. The thing is when you're constantly being fed thoughts, and then sometimes you don't know where a thought comes from because people don't realize they're one. They think they're an individual. They don't realize they're connected to a collective consciousness. And so depending on where you are, you have a lot of stuff swirling around in that particular atmosphere, a lot of different thoughts, a lot of stuff going on. And you might end up catching some thoughts or whatever, feelings that come from somebody else that's not your own. And that's where awareness is important, though. That's when awareness is very important, to be very self-aware. That's where that comes in, because when you realize something is odd, then you got to know not to take it seriously. But even in our regular life, we have a lot of repeating thoughts and stuff like that. But we are fed our thoughts. And that's the reason why I said that most of us, for the most part, are MK Ultra, except for the people that's behind doing all of this, or the entities that's behind doing all of this. They're not MK Ultra. They're just pretty much malevolent, but they're not MK Ultra. Okay? Because, I've already seen it outside of the physical. I've seen like this AI machine and the way it looks. And it's literally feeding people their thoughts. It's feeding people things. When people think they can't let go of something, it's not them. They're being fed things. Thoughts are actually entities. Thoughts are they're not you. Those are entities. Those are entities. And sometimes based on whatever you've been through in your life, then it creates a pattern of like the same thing happening over and over again until you decide to, that's what people say, reprogram your mind, until you decide to reprogram your thoughts, and then you have a new set of thoughts. But they're all still thoughts and they're all still entities. Okay? It's all, to be honest with you, it's all AI. To be honest with you, people talk about AI. A lot of us are basically, I know what my real body is, where I am right now, where most people are right now. They're not in their original state. They're not in their organic state. So basically, we all are and honestly, we all are kind of AI because we are in our inorganic state. But I'm going to talk about another thing with mental illness too. Because when I'm talking about mental illness, I'm talking about this simulation. I was seeing some things. I had my eyes closed and I forgot what was going on. I forgot what happened. I was doing something. It's like meditation, but I don't really want to call it meditation. I was doing something. And I was shown, like, in my mind's eye that this is Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is causing this. Wi-Fi is causing, I forget what it was. Let me remember. It's a lot that is going on that I can't discuss because a lot of things that's going on with me has a lot to do with AI. And I can't even explain it. I'd rather, you can't hardly talk to nobody about it. Even people who call themselves targeted individuals, this right here, I don't think they would get. It's really nobody to talk to about these things. Elon Musk could get it. but the reason why I know about it is not because I'm into that world. It's because of what I have to deal with. It's because of what I dealt with. And it's like, A lot of us, I'm going to be honest with you, we don't have arms and legs like we think we do. And there's other stuff too, like in the ethers. It's a lot that I see going on, and people just, it came to me that a lot of stuff is happening because of Wi-Fi. That we are completely inorganic. We are completely inorganic. Like it's some, I think like some of us need to take a vacation. You know how like some of us go on fast, like I go on fast sometimes. It's to give my body a break. Some people think a fast is unnecessary. Well, I think a fast helps because sometimes fast helps to get rid of a lot of those attachments. Sometimes you have sugar addictions and other addictions, and sometimes addictions. And sometimes a fast will help you to get rid of some of those attachments. But also, yeah, because, and then also you won't have as many thoughts. You won't have so much going on in your head. So your head is a lot lighter too. Your mind is not clear because you're getting rid of those attachments. And you get rid of those attachments, then your mind becomes more clear. Right? But it's also best for us to fast from the doggone Wi-Fi. Like we've got to a point where a lot of us are addicted to Wi-Fi. I'm not going to point the finger at nobody. A lot of us are addicted to Wi-Fi. As much as I am no good hardly with technology, a lot of us are addicted to Wi-Fi because now at where we work, using the phone, we need service. Like even if we're trying to get somewhere from A to B, we need some Wi-Fi. Or, a lot of us we just can't imagine life without a Wi-Fi. Now, somebody might say, I can, but a lot of people cannot if they're used to it. You can, but a lot of people cannot. Okay, and it's because you're going to have to sit and be quiet. It's like, and I don't look at a lot of TV, so if I'm somewhere where there's no Wi-Fi, it's only so many movies I can watch that I have available, that's available for just for me to watch from downloads. But then you just get bored. So that means you gotta learn how to just sit there and be quiet. That might not be a bad idea. You gotta learn how to sit back and be quiet, which might not be a bad idea. So I think Wi-Fi is causing. This is just what's shown to me. Wi-Fi is causing a lot of doggone problems. And this is how, with all this stuff going on, this is how you have certain malevolent entities that's able to kind of control consciousness and pull people into all these portals and stuff. People are being pulled into portals and they don't know they're in the portals because, like consciousness is being brought into a portal. It's not just you as an individual. And with a lot of this Wi-Fi, we've gone from a matrix to within a matrix, within a matrix, within a matrix, within a matrix. With a lot of this stuff. And don't even realize it because life just seems to be the same. It looks like you didn't miss a beat, so everything looks the same, so you don't realize there's a problem here. But, yeah, I feel like it's definitely time for me to just go on and take a little break from the Wi-Fi. There are certain parts of the United States where Wi-Fi is banned. I forget one part. I think it's like one part is in West Virginia, I believe. And it's because they have a huge satellite in that area, and they don't want the Wi-Fi to interfere with the satellite. This huge satellite that they show, it reminds me of like 80s type of shows and stuff like this. It just reminds me of the 80s. And I might just take a trip out there for a little while just to get a little break from the Wi-Fi. Just to get a break from it. Just get used to just not looking at nothing. Probably maybe save everything on my tablet that I can save for downloads or something. So maybe I can look at something every day. Because whatever I look at, it's going to have to be downloaded. Now, they do have like the internet. They have like dial-up and the internet. But they don't have Wi-Fi. And I've been dealing with a lot of stuff in the ethers, and a lot of it has to do with AI, and it's other stuff that I just can't really explain. People's like shadows are now going to start attacking each other, and your own shadow just might attack you. It's just like the movie Us, but with Jordan Peele, and Lupita Nyong'o is in that movie, and it's just like the movie Us. I've seen it. I've seen another version of myself, which is really my shadow, and then there's me. And yeah, it's time to do some shadow work because your shadow now you and your shadow are becoming two different people. And your shadow might fight you because it doesn't see you as them. Okay, because the shadow is completely controlled. But me, where I am, I have a conscious awareness enough to know that what that is, but then the shadow doesn't see me as itself. It sees me as something different, even though it's me. And it's everything that I've been through. And whatever you've been through, all of the narratives that's in his shadow, whatever it's been programmed to be since birth, that's how it's going to treat you, especially if you come from a family or a background where people mistreated you and people were nasty, and especially if you have a family that wanted to do nothing but just hate you and make you feel unloved. Yeah, you can get away from that and stuff, but you gotta get that out the shadow too. You gotta do the shadow work and remove that, because now I've already seen people's shadows. Like, I've seen them, what they look like, and I've seen them in like a different realm, like I seen their shadow. And the shadow does not recognize that person as them. They're like two different people, and that shadow is going to come back either to attack that person or attack somebody else. But a lot of attacks is going on in that realm, that shadow type of realm, or people might call it 4D or whatever. A lot of attacks, and then people might feel like they're being attacked and not know what's going on, but it's that stuff going on in there. It's a war. Basically Star Wars. Star Wars. Okay. Because a lot of us are stars. And when I say star, I mean an actual star. I seen what I look like. I look like the real star, actual star. That's the real me. That's what I look like. Even though I, see myself as this physical person walking around, I mean, I see all the time. I look like what I look like. I'm a star, like one of the stars that you will see in the sky. That's what I am. And so it's going to be a lot of Star Wars happening. That's the Star Wars. Anyway, that is it, and we'll talk later.